I used to think I knew exactly who I was. Straightforward, ordinary, invisible. I had my routine. Wake up, suit up, go to work, pretend everything was fine. But that was before the makeover, before everything I thought I knew about myself came undone. It started as a joke. A stupid office dare that spiraled into something I couldn't control. If someone had told me that one day I'd be looking into a mirror and not recognizing the person staring back, I'd have laughed. But now, thinking back, that laughter feels like someone else's voice. It was the company's annual charity event, a themed gala, masquerade of roles. The HR team decided everyone had to swap appearances for fun. The women would dress as men, and the men, well, you can guess. I laughed it off at first. I wasn't exactly the type to say yes to something like that. I worked in finance, numbers, spreadsheets, quiet lunches. But my manager, Clara, had a mischievous streak. She cornered me in the break room with that sly grin of hers and said, "Come on, Ryan. You always hide behind that tie. Let's see if you can handle a little transformation." I told her no. Then the team joined in, chanting, teasing, daring. And before I knew it, I'd agreed. I thought it'd just be a wig, some lipstick, maybe a dress over my clothes. Something to get a few laughs. But Clara had other plans. She booked a professional stylist, someone she knew from a modeling agency. "Full transformation," she said. "If you're going to do it right." I remember sitting in that makeup chair, under the bright ring light, feeling ridiculous. The stylist, a guy named Adrian, smiled as he tied a cape around my neck. "Don't worry," he said, brushing a strand of hair from my forehead. "You'll look amazing when I'm done." I tried to joke. Amazing or horrifying? He just winked. Both, maybe. 2 hours later, when he turned me toward the mirror, my stomach dropped. It wasn't me. At least, not the me I recognized. The reflection was soft, feminine. My sharp jawline blurred under careful contouring. My lashes long and dark. My lips tinted rose. The wig, long, chestnut waves, fell past my shoulders, brushing the collarbone I suddenly felt too aware of. The dress hugged me in all the wrong places, or maybe the right ones. I couldn't decide. For a long moment, I just stared. The air felt heavier, like I'd stepped into someone else's life. Adrian laughed quietly. "Told you. Amazing, huh?" I swallowed, unable to find words. In that mirror, I saw a stranger. But there was something else, a flicker. Something dangerously curious. The gala was supposed to be fun. Light-hearted. But walking into that hall felt like stepping into fire. Every eye turned toward me. The women gasped. The men laughed. Clara, standing near the bar, froze with her glass halfway up. Then she smiled, that slow, knowing smile that made me both uneasy and strangely proud. "You clean up better than I expected," she said, brushing her fingers over the sleeve of my dress. I laughed nervously, pretending not to care. But inside, my heart was hammering. Every movement felt foreign. Every step in those heels, a careful calculation between falling and floating. People kept asking for selfies. Some didn't even recognize me at first. And for a while, I let myself play along. Maybe it was the champagne. Maybe it was the attention. But for the first time in years, people were actually looking at me. Then, midway through the night, my best friend Mark showed up. He stopped dead in front of me, eyes wide. "Dude, what the hell?" I smiled weakly. "Charity event, remember? Ours bright idea." He blinked, then shook his head, grinning. "Man, you look, not bad. Just, wow." That wow echoed in my head long after he walked away. When the night ended, I went home exhausted, makeup smudged, hair tangled. I told myself it was over. Just a silly night. But when I stood in front of the bathroom mirror, wiping off the foundation, I hesitated. Underneath the smeared makeup, I still saw her. The softness hadn't vanished. And for the first time, I wasn't sure I wanted it to. It started small. The next weekend, I found myself scrolling through photos of the event, zooming in, looking at my own face. Then, almost without thinking, I looked up tutorials. Makeup, voice, posture. Just out of curiosity, I told myself. One night, when my roommates were out, I opened the drawer where Clara had packed up the costume. The wig lay on top, still neat. The dress folded perfectly. My hands trembled as I touched the fabric, soft, cool, almost alive. I didn't mean to put it on. I just wanted to see. But when I looked at myself again, with makeup carefully done, hair brushed smooth, I felt a strange stillness inside me. It wasn't just disguise anymore. It was peace. I walked across my room, heels clicking softly on the floor. Each step sent a ripple through my chest, part fear, part excitement. I tried speaking, my voice softer, lighter. "Hi," I whispered, testing it. And hearing it echo back felt like meeting a secret part of myself that had been waiting for years. I took a deep breath and smiled, a real, genuine smile. And then came the knock. "Ryan? You home?" Mark's voice. Panic shot through me. I scrambled, nearly tripping over the bed as I tore off the wig. When he stepped inside, I was half hidden behind the door. "Why's your face all?" He paused, squinting. I'd forgotten the lipstick. I mumbled something about a prank video, and he laughed it off, thank God. But after he left, I sat on the floor shaking. Why did I feel so ashamed? And why, even through the fear, did I want to do it again? The next few weeks became a blur of secrets. By day, I was still Ryan, the quiet analyst who nodded through meetings and avoided small talk. By night, I became someone else. At first, it was just in my apartment. Then I started venturing out, late-night walks, hoodie pulled over the wig, makeup subtle enough to pass under streetlights. Each outing was a test. Could I blend in? Could I move through the world unseen? As her? The first time I stepped into a cafe, my hands were trembling so badly I nearly dropped my coffee. The barista smiled and said, "Have a good night, miss." Miss. That single word sent warmth flooding through me. Not because I wanted to be someone else, but because, for a moment, I was free from all the boxes people had put me in. One evening, I ran into Clara outside that same cafe. She almost didn't recognize me. When she did, her lips parted in surprise, then a slow, soft smile spread across her face. "I knew it," she whispered. "You couldn't resist." I didn't know what to say. My cheeks burned. She laughed lightly. "Relax. You look beautiful." Beautiful. It was the first time anyone had said that word to me without irony. After that, Clara became my secret ally. She started teaching me subtle things, walking with confidence, blending makeup naturally, how to style my hair. Sometimes we'd spend entire Saturdays experimenting with clothes and looks. It wasn't about pretending anymore. It was about expression, color, movement, freedom. But the more I embraced it, the more cracks formed in my old life. My boss noticed my longer hair, my shaped brows. Mark joked about me spending too much time with Clara. And one night, my mother called, saying she'd heard something strange from one of her friends, that someone had seen me dressed up. I lied. Said it was for work. But the guilt hung heavy in my chest. Because by then, I didn't know how to stop. The breaking point came one Friday morning. We had a presentation with a major client, a high-stakes deal Clara had been preparing for months. But that morning, she called me in early, her face pale. "Ryan," she said, "I need you to stand in for me. The client's old-fashioned. He expects the assistant to be female. Just once. You can pull it off." I froze. "Clara, no. Not here. Not at work." She grabbed my hand. "Please. It's just for the meeting. No one else has to know." I should have said no. I should have walked away. But I didn't. Within an hour, I was back in that makeup chair, heart pounding, the fluorescent office lights making everything feel too real. Adrian wasn't there this time. Clara handled it herself. Her hands were steady, gentle, like she'd done this 100 times. When she finished, she looked at me, eyes glistening. "There. You're perfect." The meeting went smoothly, better than I could have imagined. The client was charming, polite. No one suspected a thing. But later that afternoon, someone from HR walked in unexpectedly. Her eyes widened as she saw me, still in makeup, hair pinned up. I saw the confusion, the judgment, the questions forming behind her smile. By Monday, rumors had spread like wildfire. People whispered in hallways. My inbox filled with awkward jokes and half-hearted apologies. Mark stopped talking to me altogether. And Clara, she was called into HR. I felt like I'd ruined her career. And mine. When they asked me to take some personal time, I packed my desk in silence. Every step out of that building felt like shedding another layer of the person I'd been. Outside, the city looked the same. But I didn't. For weeks, I stayed home. Curtains drawn. Makeup untouched. I told myself it was over, that I'd go back to normal. But normal no longer fit. It felt like wearing clothes 2 sizes too small. One evening, I got a message from Clara. Meet me at the cafe. When I arrived, she was waiting with 2 cups of coffee and that same soft smile. I'm sorry, she said. They let me go too. My heart sank. Clara, don't apologize, she interrupted gently. They can fire us, but they can't erase what you found. What I found? I asked, voice trembling. She reached across the table, touching my hand. The courage to see yourself. That's more than most people ever do. For a long time, I didn't answer. But inside me, something shifted. Maybe she was right. Maybe this wasn't destruction. Maybe it was transformation. Messy, painful, but real. That night, when I got home, I stood in front of the mirror again. The wig, the makeup, the dress, they were all there, waiting. But this time, I didn't see a disguise. I saw truth. I put on the makeup slowly, carefully, not to hide, but to reveal. Each brushstroke felt like reclaiming something I'd buried. When I was done, I smiled at the reflection. She smiled back. It's strange, isn't it? How a single choice, a joke, a dare, can unravel an entire life. But maybe that's what needed to happen. My old life wasn't destroyed by the makeover, it was exposed. Underneath the layers of routine and fear and expectations, there was someone waiting to breathe. And once she did, I couldn't go back. I don't know where this path will lead. Some days, it's terrifying. Some days, freeing. But I've stopped apologizing for existing in between. Because the truth is, the makeover didn't destroy me. It destroyed the mask I used to wear every day. And in its ruins, I finally found myself. Soft piano fades out. The sound of rain returns, gentle, steady, healing.